Oh, you all. It is Tease. The quote-unquote dwelling in America, as far as the quote-unquote others, the humbling process need to be happening again on the max. I felt like the humbling process was happening with the quote-unquote ICE run-ins and the quote-unquote immigration policies, which are for the others. Immigration and ICE, that's for the others, the one who swam here for a quote-unquote better life. And again, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with going abroad or going somewhere else for a safer place. I do it all the time within my dwellings. I might leave you or leave your meeting and run east. I might leave a family function and run for the hills. I may turn water into whatever it is. I may just pick up and go to somewhere that's safer and more clearer for me. Sounds crazy and looks crazy to the naked eye, but to me, this is a safe place. Me jumping up and leaving the equation. So I get it as far as getting away, but the problem that we have is getting away and only feeling like something when I get away to the department where there's someone or something to feel superior to. And there's somewhere or someone to have, really, because you found the better place. You have the better life. And again, there's nothing wrong with it. But the problem is you can't say the same thing back in your headquarters. For instance, me, I can't come to you for a better life if I don't have that better life that I'm stomping about and pumping my chest about, if that makes any sense. I can be all this and that here in America, but if home's up, then Houston, we do have a problem. That's the problem. You're not great all the way around. You're only great when there's skulls around for you to kick and to stand on to feel like something. That is the problem. That's why I said the humbling process need to happen need to happen again on the max, is because it is almost law to come here and disrespect the natives, which are the quote-unquote blacks or the quote-unquote African, the niggers, if you will. And some could argue, what about the Mexicans or what about the Native Americans? They can be sent off or shipped somewhere. The quote-unquote blacks, the Negroes, the niggers, they can only be taken out and sent to prison, that's their. And don't get me wrong, I am a part of the quote-unquote American. I don't even respond to any of these things, but these are nicknames. American Negro, Black, Nigger, Nigga, Negro, and etc. are all nicknames, American nicknames to give you another name. Because obviously you've been conquered. And through this conquering, other nations want to come in on it. Just like now, what is happening now? And mind you, I have nothing to do with it. I'm not interested in what's going on with reparations. It's one of those things where we should never go to the beast and ask them to do the opposite of what they believe. Even if they feel like it's right for them to go upside my head, I'm thinking like, but I didn't do anything. But I didn't do. If they feel like it's right to go upside my head, me keep saying I didn't do anything, or can you please stop? After a while, if I've been doing this for centuries, clearly that's not working. So we have to take responsibility on our part as the quote-unquote American Negroes. When you accept abuse, it's like you play a role in that too. We've been in an abusive, we have Stockholm really bad. Well, they have Stockholm. Y'all got Stockholm real bad. Meaning the abuses should come with the territory. And that's what the world has for you. Abuse. All of these other nations are saying, hey, what you're going through ain't abuse. That ain't a crime. And they're not really saying that because they believe that they're saying that, because if I do say that this is a crime, that means I gotta hold myself accountable. I gotta hold you accountable. I gotta look east. I gotta look west. I gotta look north. I gotta look south. I gotta tear this shit up. And that's the problem. They don't want to fix the problem, but they do want to shift the blame. Well, it's the niggers. I'm about to say it's always going to be. And ask me, it is the niggers. Because again, what is our role in it? What's your role in it? Even with Israel, you got some niggas don't know what's going on. I'll stand for it. Do you know who? Hello? Do you even know what you're going up against? You don't know the beast that you're going up against. Because quote unquote Israel said that what you're going through ain't a crime, what they're going through is a crime. And you see what I'm saying? One is apples, one is oranges, you know. It's only a crime when it happens to them. With you, no, it comes with the territory. You're in America. Yeah, so that's where we're at. People coming here losing themselves, forgetting where they come from. I came here with a potato. I swam here on a inner tube. Okay. But again, you're only great here with the necks and the heads to stand on and to kick. You're only great because of the niggers, in so many words. Because clearly you're not great at home. That's the problem. That's my only problem. There's nothing wrong with getting well, getting better. Because to me, that's inspirational. No matter where you come from, you can swim here. You swam here from literally swam here from another country and became great. That is inspirational. But let's say when you're going to swim back to save the others or go back for your luggage, then those are fighting words, you know, something like, no, that's the problem. Well, then don't kick me in the head. If it's literally a death sentence for me to demand you or to damn you back home, and that's literally it, not the guillotine, not the fire chamber, not the firing squad, not none of that. Damn you to home. And you're dead just me saying that, you must never kick me in the head. Me or any other quote unquote Negro or any other quote unquote have not, or the fools. That's another thing too. We are foolish as far as what's really going on. That's why other nations look upside our heads, because it's like, y'all don't know you in hell, or you don't know that you've been living a lie. You don't know that's poison. And perhaps we do, but like I said, Stockholm, meaning we only respond to abuse. Why I don't. Like I said, I've overcame my slavery stitches. I've overcame. But most of the niggers have not. Like they're still the Stockholm. We were just talking about this too, and a part of me want to blame the quote unquote black man because they have to gas up other nations. And I don't want to just blame it on the quote unquote black man, but somebody has to gas up other nations. Somebody has to hold the door open. Oh, you ask me, it's the niggas. Somebody hold the door open. Both parties come with deceptions. When it comes with the quote unquote Jews and the quote unquote blacks, which there's a coalition, because both of them come with deception, and both have switched spots with each other. Okay? One call themselves the chosen people. One calls themselves the quote unquote Jews. And I think they switch spots. They switch spots. Somebody's wearing somebody's robes. And if you do the math, the niggers aren't not required, or they're not privy to having anything. So it's one of those things like who's wearing whose robe around here, you know? And that's the $1 billion question. That's the problem. But it's like the deception is so thick. Inside deception and outside deception. You don't know where you're at as far as the quote unquote the region, the atmosphere, the quote unquote country, or this particular parameter. Don't know where you're at and how to get down here. And if you do, you're living a delusional reality. And I'm thinking, we've all been lied to. We've all been delusional as far as the whole, even the other nations. They're delusional too when they come here. Because again, they all can say, I'm the shit, I'm the owner. I bought up all the land, or I'm pretty much, I own the place, but you can't say the same thing back at home. That's the fucking problem. That's the fucking problem. That's why they said the nigger's not allowed to have nothing, because we own it all. We run home, then that means, oh, we got to clean this mess up. Then we'll wake up and say, you've been wearing my robe. Oh, you've been trying to push me down the stairs, or you've been the problem. I held the door open for you. Yes. And most of the time they do. The quote unquote, they hold the door open for their own demise. I'm a billionaire, let me give it back to you. NASA, like, oh, that's what I'm saying. I think once we realize you've been conquered, I think we probably still don't remember or don't believe it. What? We conquered. Yeah, so get past the Stockholm and get past Pank Jesus. I think the Negroes will be all right. You know, quote unquote, you know. But you got to get past those two things. Get past being conquered. Get past Pank Jesus. But and again, which is why that's like, okay, it's best to keep them in a sick delusion. Don't tell them that we've been committing a crime, because that means we got to bring this place down. I'm thinking, like, oh no, it's gonna crash and burn on its own. So it's one of those things you don't, you know. I would say they wouldn't commit suicide, but they will. If I got a switch spot, what? You gotta bow to what the niggers bow to. I really teases your ruler. No cars hurt from crash and burn, which is good though, cause I like that. Even if it's a scare tactic, I would even go as far as saying if you can just use this as just put this on as a threat. You know how they do the bomb threats and they do the what is it, the cyber attacks. I'll do a cyber attack. Okay, put a message on the news or put a message on social media. This teeth is your ruler. You are to bow down. Yeah, literally. And it's like that's the message put out there. So many people, what? You're a pink teeth? Boom. You know, people take themselves out. And the crazy thing is, even if it's a lie, you can say it's a hoax. I'm willing to do that. Tease your ruler. This is your. You know, people, what? Take themselves out. You see what I'm saying? The mess will clean itself up. You just gotta know what you're doing. I'm about to say they're afraid of that type of energy. they ain't ready. They ain't, which is, I'm about to say, gotta be put on the max. Go ahead and give me 24 hours. 24 hours. All right. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. Literally surrounded by nation stats. And here's another thing too, before I continue to babble. Complicity, that is a response. Because I've always used the reference, oh, who stands for righteousness? And if your head is down or you're twiddling your thumbs, that's a response. Who's with me? Just put yourself to the test. Put yourself in the shoes. If you just, whatever it is, who's with me? Even if you're saying it randomly or for fun, who's with me? And if everybody got their head down, that means nobody's with you. So complicity, no response is a response. And it's for the negative. It's not a, maybe so, I'm cut between a cock and a hard place. Bitch, no response is a response, which is for the negative. Again, who's with me or who wants to save me out of a burning building and my head is down and I'm twiddling my thumbs or no response or I'm staying out of it. Bitch, that's a response on the negative department. That's a negative. That's set as a message. If I literally raise my hand for the third time, who's with me and your head is down or you no comment? Thank you. So for the most part, most nations think that whatever the quote unquote American niggers are going through, it's not a crime. Meaning you have no allies. And then the crazy thing is, I don't know why we would even think that we do, or think that any other nations would, other than being, and I'm not saying other nations aren't intrigued. Everyone's intrigued. I'm intrigued, everyone's intrigued with the quote unquote American Negroes. But who's actually for the American Negroes? Who's actually for, here to help, here to support, here to not exploit and not to use to feel like something? Because a lot of people, I've noticed, a lot of nations get gassed up by Negroes. I'm doing the Crip Walk. They come through. All it takes is some fried chicken. And then here comes the niggers. Oh my God, and then they just, what I'm saying, eating it up. That's the problem. So most of the time, if not all the time, the quote unquote Negroes do hand their power over too. That's why I say both parties are in on it. It's not just other nations. It starts at home. Starts with the niggers. Like I say, somebody's holding the door open for them to come pouring it in. And it's not politics. It's blackface. So that's just where we are right now. The quote unquote humbling process restarted and on full blast this time because obviously ICE and the immigration and stop and frisk, that don't work. Because right now what's happening, we're all catching the smoke. And I'm thinking like, but hello, we're all getting caught up in the strays. And if I'm in retirement and it's like, I'm leaving the battlefield and it's like, okay, it's your turn. You go ahead and take these. It's your turn to turn over the mirroring effect. Return to center, if you will. The fiery darts, that's for me. The attacks for me. The kicks in the head, in the back of my damn scalp. For all of eternity, that was given to me. Boom, 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 boom. Fiery darts, the blows, and then it's your turn to receive those blows. Those are your blows, Because really, this is an attack upon me. I was attacked, and lied to, and human trafficked, and believing the lies and believing the truths. Human trafficked, identity theft, brain damage. I don't know where I'm at. So many atrocities to say the least. And then these are actual attacks that may affect my children's children, as long as I'm in this department, you know, living in these environments. As long as I'm okay with the abuse, I'm gonna give it to my children. And that shows that it's still very active and still well. So if I'm actually being harmed actively, then that's where the war part comes in, because it's spiritual, which it does start. It starts spiritual, but if I'm, like I say, if I'm feeling it, yeah. So return to sender. Yeah. So yeah, that's literally where we're at. Like being the open attacks is like, it has to be, because it's called balance. 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 The damn shame too. And you would think that we would wake up, but no. A lot, if not most of us, are still lost in a sick delusion. And I would hate to say, like, okay, let them sleep while the place burns, but I don't want to say this is the final warning, because it's one of those things that's already happening. But it's like, how many kicks in the ass do you need to wake up and smell the roses to understand where you really are? You know? And then once you see that, then you can stop participating. Then you can stop kicking me in the head as well. Because like I say, it's not just other nations, it's you too. It's the niggers too. Anyway.